Life is absurd, so why aren't you living it? Maybe you've read some of Camus' works or found absurdist concepts in other works of literature. Maybe you're into philosophy and have heard the term being thrown around. Maybe you're an expert. Maybe you've seen some YouTube videos breaking it down. But if you're totally new to this or need a refresher, I like to summarize absurdism in 3 points. The universe exists. It's inherently random and meaningless. Even if there is some kind of meaning, we can't know it for sure. Humans love meaning. We want cause and effect, a reason for everything, and ultimately, a purpose for our own lives. But the clash between these 2 points is what Camus coined as the absurd. It's the clash between the universe's randomness and our need for meaning, where there is none. My issue with absurdism was that while I agreed with what Camus was saying about facing the absurd, I somehow completely missed the point. I over-intellectualized what he was saying about the meaning of life and its consequences. Does this mean there's no need to be kind? Does this mean there's no objective moral values? What meaning should I make? What do I think about existentialism? The questions went on, and I wanted answers. I wanted clarity and a kind of existential framework. But deep down, I knew there isn't one. No, not even absurdism itself. I kept playing this kind of intellectual game of hide and seek with myself, stuck searching for a grand unified theory of life, ethics, and meaning, because it kept me away from the reality that, well, there's no satisfying answer. You keep asking questions, reading philosophers, and pushing yourself to find that elusive truth, but deep down, you already know that none of these thinkers can give it to you. And you keep at it anyway because, well, stopping would feel like giving up, and you hate the idea of surrendering, don't you? You think about being in an existential limbo, and sure, that's true, but it's also self-imposed. You can't stand being boxed in by any one thinker or philosophy. So instead of finding peace in that flexibility, you end up circling the drain. It's not that none of these ideas resonate with you. It's that you refuse to commit to any of them, because then what? What's next when you finally picked a side? It's easier to keep spinning in the tension because that's what keeps the possibility open that maybe, just maybe, the perfect answer is still out there. The reason behind all of this is quite simple. You're a lot more afraid of living in the world than you let on. All this intellectual exploration, all this searching for a deeper meaning, well, part of it is just a way to avoid really engaging with the world in all of its messy, imperfect, and absurd chaos. You're still holding out for some kind of resolution, some framework that will allow you to live without doubt, without confusion, without the constant pressure of existential uncertainty. And because you can't find it, you end up paralyzed, trying to construct the perfect life in your head while the real one is slipping by. You're in love with the idea of living fully, but terrified of actually living in this scenario, because the actuality of this means embracing contradictions, imperfections, and failure. If you've read Dostoevsky's Brothers Karamazov, this might remind you of that one scene with Father Soshima and the woman that loves humanity but not one person in particular. Now, you might say you really do care, that you want to build something even if it crumbles into the void, and that's admirable, but how much of that is just talk? It's easy to say you're willing to suffer, to build, and to care, but when it comes down to actually doing it, are you really all in? Or are you still stuck in the safety of theorizing? You've got the intellect to dissect the meaning of life from every little angle, but do you have the guts to live life without waiting for a roadmap? Because let's be real, you won't get one. Yet, you already know that, but admitting it means stepping into a world where you're exposed, where you could fail, where you could suffer more than you're ready for, and no amount of philosophy can soften that blow. And you know you should get off of YouTube and live a little, but the truth is you're addicted to overthinking because it's comfortable for you. You get a sense of control from analyzing life rather than just engaging with it. Thinking is your safety net. Every time you step outside your mind and into the real world where people actually get hurt, you're risking something. But when you stay in your own head, dissecting ideas and examining meaning, you stay untouchable. The irony is, you think your deep thinking makes you braver, smarter, and more in tune with life than the average person, but that's really just a shield. You're not actually stepping into the arena and risking getting hurt. You're just observing from the stands, commentating. So here's a slap in the face you might need. You're smart as hell, you got this relentless drive to understand, but your search for meaning has become its own form of avoidance. You keep putting off the moment where you just live, where you make choices, even if they're messy, without waiting for the universe to give you permission or clarity. You're never going to get that permission. The universe is silent and you know it. The real question is, can you stop searching for a clean answer and live in the chaos? Or are you just going to keep hiding from pain behind the search for meaning? So how can I convince a chronic over-rationalizer like you to stop and just live life? The answer is not intellectually. That's kind of the point. You can't rationalize your way into a deeper experience of life. You've probably been trying to do that for years and it hasn't worked. You're not going to think your way out of this. You're going to have to do the very thing that terrifies you and act without thinking for once. Stop trying to find meaning before you engage with life and just engage with it. Do something messy, impulsive, reckless, or even trivial. I'm saying go buy those shoes you were thinking about the other day. Don't just buy them after carefully weighing whether or not it matters and every little aspect of that decision. Buy them because it doesn't matter. Do something purely for the hell of it. Go ask that girl out. That's how you break the cycle. By doing, not by thinking.